He showed me that there were problems in multiple parts of his body before he had left this world. He's going like this to me, saying, Matt, my head, this is what happened, this is what happened. He says to me, Matt, I want to let them know that I'm so sorry for what they had to see. Where are you guys from?
Massachusetts.
Oh, good. Now, first of all, when I'm connecting, I keep hearing I'm the father.
My dad.
Okay, so no, it's his way of acknowledging that he's here. And how do you connect with the lakes or the fishing?
They had a trailer on like a pond. Sun Valley, yeah. A resort.
Okay. That was his favorite place here in this world, because when I'm connecting with him, souls will show me what they're doing in heaven. And he shows me out on this beautiful, beautiful body of water that's, I don't know if it was a lake or a pond, whatever the hell it was. Showed me out in this little boat, like in the middle of this pond. So I don't know if that's what he used to do here in the physical world, but that's what he's doing on the other side, and he's acknowledging that.
Okay.
And first of all, it's not uncommon, but when your loved ones pass on, remember, heaven is a direct reflection of the things that we loved here in this world. So the places that we used to visit here in the physical, it's not uncommon for your loved ones to visit back in heaven. And that's sometimes why we actually feel like passing souls with us in different places, because our loved ones do come back and check in on those places. And when I'm connecting with your father, first of all, I want to let you know that he's there on the other side. This was a man who had several health issues here in this world before his departure. Because when I'm connecting with him, he showed me that there were problems in multiple parts of his body before he had left this world. He says to me, Matt, I want to let them know that I'm so sorry for what they had to see. When I'm connecting with your father, right away, he's also showing me, I felt like there was like mini strokes that he was going through. Did he have mini strokes with his head?
In the end, they thought that he had a stroke.
That's how he had died. He's showing me this. I see this rupture in his head, and he's going like this to me, saying, Matt, my head, this is what happened, this is what happened. So know that even though he looked okay on the outside, he shows me that it was all going on in through here, because he's acknowledging that. And I saw when I'm connecting with your dad that literally there was like no brain activity when I'm connecting with him. So first of all, I need to let you know that, because he says to me that there was struggles with you thinking, well, what if they could have kept him alive? What if he could have been alive here in the physical world? He says, and Matt, he goes, my daughter struggles with that every day. He goes, I need to let her know that this wasn't just a stroke. This was some type of a brain bleed or something had happened here, because I see it. He said to me, Matt, there was no coming back from this. So at the end, when your dad passed, was he on life support before his departure?
Yes.
Because I'm seeing you visiting, he's showing me, and listen, I'm sorry to bring you back to that time, but if spirit brings it up, it's because there's healing needs to be done. And I see you going to see your dad, and he couldn't talk and he couldn't move, and he's laying like this. And I see you going and touching his hands, and he tells me the only thing that you could remember is that his hand was so weak here in this world. Like he shows me picking up his hand, and he had no, like he was saying, Dad, can you feel me? Can you touch me? And he said to me, Matt, he goes, I was there, but my soul was already on the other side. So he tells me you visited him and you asked him to squeeze his hand. Is that not true? He says to me, Matt, please let her know. He goes, that there was no way that I could have done that. He goes, because I wasn't in my body at that time. I was already on the other side. And what was so tough is he actually tells me that you had made the decision to go and take your dad off of life support here in this world. So do you know your dad wants to thank you for that? You know, what's so crazy is, you know, this is what I do know, luckily being an EMT in the past that I've had. Sometimes when we take people off of life support, they hang around for a couple of days or they hang around for a little while. With your dad, that was not it. Your dad, his soul was already on the other side. And I saw that the moment that you let go of that machine, your dad's soul went right to the other side. Like that, he was already, because what happens is, our soul leaves our body, but until we disconnect that machine, we're kind of in between two worlds. It's not as scary as it sounds. It's not like we're stuck or we're in limbo. It's nothing like that. It's just that we don't truly fully transition over because our body's still here. But literally, I saw, you didn't see this because they make the family go in the other room. But you know what I did see is I saw like that, you know, them disconnecting your father, and I saw that it's just like he just left, like his body just shut down. And your father says to me, I want to let you know, that even though you were hopeful, he says, I just want to let my daughter know there was no way. And there's one thing that he does want to let you know. You're still questioning things because you feel like maybe if you got him help sooner, he would still be alive. What dad tells me no, because what's so crazy with his passing is I see your father talking and speaking 1 minute, and then next thing you know, I see him on a ventilator and in a coma, and then next thing you know, we're wondering, how did he die? Your father says to me, let her know there was no coming back. And that's what he says to me. Your father goes to me, listen, I know how hard it was because your dad was the most important person to you here in this world. And back in the day, you were so close with him. And by the way, is that his shirt right there? He's telling me you're wearing his clothes. He goes to me, Matt, he goes, listen, he goes, she was questioning if this was real. He goes, and you said tonight, you said, if this is real, and if this guy is legit, if he's talking to Dad, then he'll talk about me wearing his shirt. And if not, then it's bullshit. So,
this was his favorite girl right here.
He tells me he knows that you wore that shirt today. And more importantly, that was his. Because he kept saying to me, talk about the shirt, talk about the shirt. If you talk about the shirt, she's going to know it's real. So when you said that, it was so crazy. You just got the chills. You just felt the chills all through you. That was his soul that you felt right there and with you. Because nobody could have known that. You know what's so crazy? When I'm connected with your father, all I keep smelling is Old Spice on the other side. You used to wear the Old Spice here in the physical?
Yeah.
I keep smelling that all throughout this room. And he's going to me, he goes, Matt, he goes, let her know. He goes, that I still smell good on the other side. And more importantly, he looks good as well, because your father's Coleman is here when I'm connected with him, letting you know this.
Handsome man, very handsome. Yes.
He says to me, he goes, listen, I gotta tell you something. Your father was a ladies' man here in this world. He loved his women. He shows me that.
Gorgeous man, but very loyal to my mom.
Oh, yeah. I know, because he shows me, he says, Matt, I love my women. He goes, but I loved my wife as well. And he's acknowledging that. He says to me that the one thing that he wants you to know, he says, is that every day that goes by, he goes, I am still here and I am still with you. He says, don't regret anything that has happened. He says, I want to let you know it's not about the way that I died. It's about the memories that we got to create here in this world. And it's about me letting you know that I'm always here and with you and I'm always watching over your family, because he's acknowledging that.
I feel him. I do. I feel him so much.
Now also, when I'm connected with him, he's playing Fly Me to the Moon.
Yes.
He's playing Fly Me to the Moon by Frank Sinatra. How do you connect with that?
He loved Frank Sinatra. He played him all the time on the old record player. And so we used to sing that song, Fly Me to the Moon. He and I used to sing that song. Yeah.
Because know that that's one of the ways that your dad is reaching you. So have you heard that song since his passing play?
Yeah, very often with Frank Sinatra.
He says to me, that song, Fly Me to the Moon in particular, was the song that he's sending you from spirit. So know that when you get that sign, that's your dad's way of acknowledging that, letting you know that he's there.
Thank you.
The other thing that I want to let you know is your mom is also there as well. And do you know that your dad just wants to thank you for the years that you took care of her and the way that you loved her? He said to me, Matt, he goes, I was so afraid to die for one reason. He goes, I didn't know what was going to happen to my wife. I was so afraid of what was going to take place. He says, if I were to leave this world. But he tells me when I'm connecting with him, that the way that you took her in, the way that you were there for her, the way that you all loved her, he says, Matt, he goes, he says, please thank them for taking such good care of her. He says, and I want to let you know that when your mom got sick, he says, I came back to get her. Your dad was right there. He tells me he was waiting for your mom. He says, so when she took her last breath here in this world, as scared as she may have been, you told her to go find Dad. He tells me that you told that in her ear. Before she died, you told your mother, go find Dad, go find Dad. She says, I just heard your mother say, I found him. And your dad says, I got her. Yeah. So know that they are together. Know that they are with you and that they are safe and at peace on the other side.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
You're so welcome.